have another little horse day. I got pretty sick a few weeks back, got the flu, and wound up getting my horses off their normal trim schedule. So Lightning's come up a little overdue for her trim. I like to trim about every 3 to 4 weeks, and we're going on about 6 right now with her. So she's a little long, but we found the more frequent trims keep their hooves a little more in the natural state that we aim for here, and that makes a much tougher hoof because, especially as a draft with their heavy weight, their hooves tend to flare more if you let them get long. We don't want that to happen. We want to keep our horses as comfortable and healthy as possible, so we're going to give her a bit of a pedicure today. Downsides of healthy horse feet is they are rock hard, and I don't care how sharp your tools are, getting through them's a little tough. When you add in a weakling like me, it's not easy at all. I don't do 50 horses a week like a professional farrier. I do 1 or 2 a week, so I definitely don't have the same amount of strength, and it takes a while, but we get the job done, and doing the job myself, I'm able to make sure I'm in tune to them on a daily basis and they get exactly what they need when they need it. Well, I've got 2 more to go. Got to do her other side, but so far she's looking good. I'm already pretty worn out, so I'm slowing down here, and I'm sure all you professional farriers are laughing, but I tell you, I've got a very healthy respect for those of you who do more than a few horses a day. This slap wears me out, and these hard hooves, boy, they're worth it every day except trim day. So now you know what it takes to keep our horses' feet pretty. Right, girl? Well, we haven't had the horses out working in about 6 weeks because it has been so incredibly wet, just rainy and muddy, and even though the horses can walk in the mud, a lot of our equipment is useless in the mud. So we've been waiting, but we've had a couple of days of dry where the ground is dried up a bit, so we are going to take advantage of it today. We're actually going to go out, we're going to do a little bit of harrowing and disking of a small plot where we're growing corn this year. And then one of our big projects for the year 2020 is to do some cleanup and farm organizing. So, for those of you that followed our Facebook page and some of our original early videos, we built a brand new shed out behind the barn that we're going to be storing all our horse equipment in. So today, since we've got the horses harnessed, after I'm done working them for a while, we're going to hitch up all the different equipment, load it all up, haul it out to the shed, and just start our cleanup process. So I'm pretty excited to get back to work with these girls. here with Grace. It's been a few days since the last video where we talked a little bit about her having an abscess. Briefly, I want to kind of touch on the different trains of thought here. There's a lot of information on the web and on YouTube regarding abscesses, and you got to realize each horse owner has to base their decision to use a vet or use the wait and see method on the particular circumstance itself. In Grace's case, we have expected abscesses to develop because of her particular situation with her feet. In addition, I was a vet tech for many years, and there is a couple of options in dealing with them. But what we have to do is weigh the risk of each of those options compared to the risk of letting it rupture on its own. Because it's similar to like a boil, it is painful to the horse. So obviously I'm not going to do anything to try to torture her further. I'm not going to ride her. I'm not going to work her during an abscess development and rupture process. But movement is critical to keep the blood flowing and to get these things to work their way out. You don't really use antibiotics as a general rule because there's not enough blood flow throughout the hoof to the area where the abscesses are located. So it's just not a standard practice. You also have to be very careful using pain relievers on a horse for an abscess because the anti-inflammatory natures of these painkillers causes the abscess to reduce and the swelling to possibly reduce size a little bit, but only on a temporary basis. So what you're really doing is prolonging the pain part of this. So this is all kind of check and balance and try to weigh the pros and cons. So in Grace's case, when she came up extremely lame, we assumed we were within a few days of it rupturing. It's much better to go a few short days and get it over with than to draw this whole process out. Another option that you may hear about is some vets and farriers will choose to actually dig into the hoof to find the abscess. Now you can use something like hoof testers and possibly pinpoint the location. In Grace's case, it would be very difficult to do that because she is so tender in so many areas because of her previous neglect that it's very unlikely we would be able to pinpoint a location, which then poses the risk of digging into her hoof unnecessarily. So in her case, we decided just to let nature take its course. I want to show you what the result of that is. What generally happens is that abscess works its way up, and you can see here it is now coming right out the back of her hoof on the heel bulb there. That's a very typical spot. It either comes out there or along the coronet band, but you can see this ooze here and it stinks terribly. So we know we've got it. Now it's just a matter of getting her moving again, letting it work its way out, and you can see she's already standing better than she was on the last video. So it is feeling better. We're making progress, and it shouldn't be too long before she's back on track full time, right?
Hey, thanks again for watching, and if you want to see more of how we do things a different way, be sure to subscribe to our channel.